getting towards the end of the first week now, and my mind is already starting to shift to next week and thinking, okay, how am I gonna actually keep this up? How am I gonna really make the most of the 2 weeks? And the thing that I really need to do is to start memorizing more stuff. That's the challenge. Because on a very simple level, if I am not able to memorize enough stuff, then I've got no hope of really being able to actually speak and talk about the things I want to be able to talk about by the end of week 2. And so what I've had to do is to figure out how I'm gonna learn this vocabulary, because you know, time is of the essence. I've only got another week of lessons, and if I'm really gonna make the most of it, I need to learn this vocabulary so we can actually use the lesson time for conversation, for something productive, not just to help me memorize stuff that I should have done at home. So what I did is I took the time to go through all my notes, look at what I really want to learn, what's important, and then transfer all of that into my flashcard decks. I've got about maybe like 30 or 40 things in my flashcard deck now, and what that allows me to do now is to systematically go through everything when I'm on the train, when I'm going out this weekend, and use that time effectively to commit it to memory. Because what was happening before was that I was like, I got all my notes and these random bits of paper. Like, you can't effectively study with such a kind of mess of stuff on different pieces of paper and different notebooks. So the thing I like about flashcards is that, whatever like techniques you actually use to study the flashcards, because there are many different ways of approaching it, the cool thing is that it organizes all the vocabulary you want to learn in one place, which means that whenever I've got a few minutes, I can just get my phone out and study those flashcards. Now, whilst all that's been going on, I've been doing something else over the weekend, because I haven't had lessons for a couple of days, and so I wanted to show you what I've been doing, because I think this is really important. I always really promote the importance of revision. A lot of the time people always want to learn new stuff, but actually it's the going back and revising the stuff you've already learned and really consolidating that gives you the progress you're looking for. Otherwise you're kind of building a house of cards in many ways. So what I did is I kind of went through and I looked at all the stuff I'd been learning, and I wanted to put it into a little dialogue or a little monologue that I could then go off and practice and learn. And so this is what I did and what I ended up with. It's a very simple thing, just basically talking about me and what I'm doing here in Thailand, why I'm learning Thai. And as you can see, I then took it into the lesson and read it out to the teacher, and it was mostly fine actually, but what she did do was change the word order. So I found out that my word order is a bit dodgy. So I had to kind of reorganize some of the sentences in order to make it natural. But it was pretty good. I took some time over it and she was happy with it. So she had me read it out a few times, and what she noticed was that I have some issues with my accent. Unsurprisingly, right, because Thai is a difficult language. There's 5 tones and difficult to pronounce. And so she said that having listened to me, I had the following problems with my accent. Now, number 1 was that the final sound is missing. And this is something that Stujay pointed out to me as well. So I've got a habit that I brought over from Cantonese of cutting like a kind of glottal stop, and I cut the final sound of a word off too soon. Whereas in Thai, you actually have to form the final sound in your mouth. You don't actually say it, but you do kind of get your mouth and your tongue in the position that it requires. And so maybe we'll do some examples of this in another video, but that's dodgy for me. Also, my high tone is not quite right, because I'm bringing it over from Cantonese, where the high tone would go si, like that, quite a big si, quite a big rise. But in Thai, it's not, it's already high. Si, like that, I think. So I sound too Chinese by having a high tone that goes too, I'm doing the rising thing, right? And then short, long vowels. Like in Cantonese as well, Thai has short vowels and long vowels, and I'm not making the distinction clear enough. So I need to work on those 3 things. And so what we then did was we went back to this script that I wrote and practiced reading it. And so these little red marks here are all the accents that I need to work on. And so initially when I did this, I thought, like, for the purpose of these videos, that I might kind of learn it and memorize it and then read it all off kind of perfectly, having worked hard on it. But I'm not going to do that because you want to see what's really happening, right? So instead, I'm just going to give you a quick reading of where I'm currently at, and it's going to be still full of mistakes, but it lets you kind of hear like the way that I'm practicing it. So I'll read it out as if I was practicing and rehearsing it, and you know, bear with me with the mistakes. But this is literally where I'm at now, and hopefully over the coming days it will improve. Because when I think like this is, writing out these little monologues and memorizing them is incredibly powerful because it gives you the feeling, you're able to experience what it feels like to speak fluently, right? Even though obviously it's not spontaneous, but you practice and rehearse the sounds, the sentence structures, the words, and the pronunciation, and so you get that feeling of speaking well, and that's incredibly valuable. So here goes.
ผมมากรุงเทพเรียนภาษาไทยอาทิตย์นี้และอาทิตย์หน้าทุกวันไปเรียนภาษาไทยกับครูที่โรงเรียนก่อนหน้าหนูมาเที่ยวเมืองไทยบ่อยและชอบมากแต่ไม่พูดภาษาไทยไปเมืองไทยปกติพูดภาษาอังกฤษตอนนี้ก็เลยอยากเรียนภาษาไทยมากโรงเรียนและครูดีมากและจริงๆแล้วพูดได้นิดหน่อยแล้วหลังจากนี้กลับไปอังกฤษผมจะพูดภาษาไทยได้ดีใจมาก
Okay, so I'm focusing very much on the pronunciation, so I'm reading it very slowly and deliberately and trying to get that right. There you go. That's where I'm at.